Why, hello, everybody. How are you for a Monday night? I hope that you guys are doing okay. I have gone off and I have titled this Knights of the Round Turntable 3 Music is My Mistress. There's a reason why I have officially come out with that. Um, I know I was planning on doing a broadcast a lot sooner than this today. Sometimes the best laid plans of mice and men. What was it? Shannon said in a song once, life is what happens when you're busy making plans. Hi, I'm glad to see you. I feel so stupid. I cannot remember your name right now. And I may have to ask you another time because mentally I am not good at remembering things. Okay. Ah, okay. So, Mason, thank you for coming by. So is this just another channel for you or a side channel or what, Mason? I'm glad to see you nevertheless. I kind of was half worried. That's right, Hudson. I try to write all these things down, and I'm sorry. I think you've told me once before. Will you guys permit me for no more than a couple minutes to tell you a story? It's a true story. It's a real story, and it happened today. Okay? Let me write you down real quick, Hudson, and I will get into the story. See? Wrote you down. So, all right. Like I said, 5 minutes at the most, okay? If you don't want to stick around, I can understand, but I swear I'll try to keep it within 5 minutes or less. And then we have other things we can talk about tonight. I want to. Pretty much got my really. Oh, no, it doesn't sound stupid, Mason. But if you want to stay this way, at least then everybody knows who you are as well. Thank you. All right. So, um, I, the mighty psycho, who most know me as Paul, um, I'll be 54 later in the year. Okay, and my wife, I've discussed this before. My late wife, she passed away 2 years ago, January 2019, suddenly. Okay, after a brief hospitalization. So I let some grief time. I still am grieving, okay, but like I left myself some time, obviously, to try to soul search and do things to keep myself busy, mixed with, I wasn't entirely intending immediately, obviously, to look for someone else. Okay, I can live um, by myself, or currently right now I have my 25-year-old son lives with me. Okay, but what I'm getting at is that I can live alone. Okay, I don't necessarily have to live with someone else, and I guess I don't have to be in a relationship. um in my past, I have not been real nice. Okay, I have been married 3 times. I cheated in my first two marriages and actually in my third, but not before she died. Okay, we were good to go. Hello, how are you? I'm sorry. This next couple minutes will be serious, and then I'll get off topic and we'll go back to what I was going to talk about, music and things. Okay, so if you could stick around, be patient. Thank you. Okay, so um, so for the last 2 years, I invested time and energy The first attempt of a relationship, we'll just mention first names. Her name was Shannon. Shannon built to me of about $220 because I really, really thought she wanted to be with me because she used to live in this area, okay? I knew her before all of the bad things happened. Well, needless to say, of course, I was a stupid fool and thought that, somebody actually gave shit. Now, I'm not saying this for melodramatics. I'm just telling you the facts. Okay, I'm trying not to color things up more. So I sent $220 for a bus ticket down to Florida. She lived in Jacksonville. Well, I got screwed over, and it turned out she was a fucking pillhead. She wasn't a pillhead when I knew her last, but she turned to be a pillhead. Hello there, Donna. Donna Joe Cat Lady is my bestie here in Northwest Arkansas. If I didn't have Donna Joe Cat Lady to talk to on things, anywho, so Shannon, I tried to get the cops involved on that. Right. So, but I have a sneaky feeling, that I'm never going to see that damn money and whatever. So then I ended up this, even though the person that I tried recently, as in up to today, her name was Sarah. Yeah, I'm calling out a little, just a little. Her name was Sarah and strung me. I tried to be honest. I worked at this. And you know why it didn't happen? Fear on her end of the fence. That and her not being completely honest. Could this be karma biting me back in the ass for maybe some of the indiscretions, the transgressions that I asked for forgiveness for from my God? Coming back? I don't know. Give me one more minute and then we're off this topic. I swear, please. Be patient with me. So I decided as of now, I'm done. I hope God and Satan are having a very good laugh at my expense. I'm not getting any younger. I tried. So, as officially today, right now at Nights of the Round Turntable, with my 4 people watching, I have declared music is my mistress. Music has never disappointed me. Music has never lied to me. Music's never used me. And music's never hurt me. Okay, da 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 da. We're done. See, told you it was going to be. Now, this broadcast, by the way, of Nights of the Round Turntable is not brought to you by. My son had to use the waffle. He works at a Waffle House. It's not brought to you by Waffle House. Oh boy. Okay, the lawyers will be in on this. And Chase's Cherry Mash. It's not sponsored by either of them. All right, we're done with that. You want me to wear the hat? I don't. Oh, for fuck's sake. So music is my mistress. That's it. Hooray. Dark heart, dark soul. Music's my mistress. All right, so okay. I want to show you how about some CD finds. We want to go crack a lack of CD finds. I picked up some CDs. I have a vintage stock, a 2 for 1, or buy 2 get 1 free Easter sale. Okie dokie. So, as everybody knows, I'm a Monkees fan. I'm also a Mike Nesmith fan, and on Camden Deluxe out of the UK, courtesy of BMG. That's right. Look at this twofer from 2001 in a nice slipcase. How about that? Good old, and the hits keep on coming, and pretty much your standard ranch stanch. Yes. The thing with this one is this was the 3rd in a set, okay? That's what it looks like on this way and in the back. the first two volumes, which, like I said, he recorded 6 albums for RCA. All right. So Camden split them up into twofers, all on one CD, by the way. And the first 2 volumes had bonus tracks at the time. I don't know what those bonus tracks are. This one, unfortunately, didn't have any bonus tracks. And supposedly, part of the reason why is because Nez had some stuff he didn't feel at that time deemable for release. But I'm still glad to have it anyway, because finding any Nez on CD is not really that easy. Okay. So I told you I'm from Chicagoland originally, okay? So when I tripped upon this, which is from Cherry Red Records out of the UK from 2005, the New Colony 6 Treater Groovy. Now, Treater Groovy, of course, was one of New Colony's hits, because I can't sing this really well today, but it kind of goes, Treater Groovy, take her to a movie. I know I'm slightly off key, but they did a mock-up of the 1969 Mercury album Attacking a Straw Man, okay? And then on the back side of the sleeve this is what the Revelations album looks like from I think late 68 or 69. Now, no bonus tracks, unfortunately, on this release, not at all, which really kind of bummed me out, because I could have sworn there was some leftovers in the Mercury era. But of course, by this time, they were kind of getting a little more soft ballady, okay, things like that. I would rather listen to the Centaur material, okay? I am still, anybody out there in the VC happens to know where they can find an original copy, original, not the reissue, of on Centaur of Breakthrough, which is New Colony 6's first album. I ain't a rich man, but I will be fair. I do happen to have the second album. I've got that one, but I'm still looking for the first. So, what did Psycho get for the bonus, the freebie? You know, it's really, really goofy, because I had this many, many moons ago on cassette, I think. I never had this on CD. From February 1989. That's right, Spike from Elvis Costello. And I like Elvis's early stuff. I like the late 70s, early 80s. This might almost be the last album I kind of liked. Now, Paul McCartney, right, in Elvis, did 2 songs. They wrote 2 songs together on this. Of course, the first one is Veronica, which was the big hit. It was a top 20 hit in the U.S., by the way. I remember them playing it on the radio back in '89. And I kind of liked it, but of course I changed the word to Moronica, because there was certain idiots that that I knew. But I go Moronica, but that's a different story. And then Pads, Paws, and Claws is the other McCartney track that he co-wrote. But guess what? McCartney's not on that track. McCartney's on Veronica, but he also happens to be on This Town, which is the first track that's on this CD. Here's the thing that I didn't remember, and it struck me really goofy. Guess who else is on that track with Elvis Costello and Paul McCartney? Who said that out there? Who said Roger McGuinn from the Byrds? Yeah, Roger McGuinn's on 12 string, and McCartney's in there, and Elvis Costello on This Town. Go check it out on YouTube, or if you've got Spike. Now, originally, I wasn't sure if this album came out on vinyl due to, you're talking, I mean, I know Warner Brothers was doing a vinyl till 90 roughly, but you had to get a club edition. Like, for example, Fleetwood Mac's Man Behind the Mask. Okay, I know that exists on vinyl because my friend Doug Fields has got a copy. But I wasn't sure if Spike came out on vinyl. Well, guess what? I found it today at an antique mall. I wasn't going to buy it right now, but it does exist on vinyl. And I just thought that was really, really interesting. So to go from this Beatle reference to a different session-y Beatle reference, This album, I didn't even know it existed until today. Okay. And maybe some of you people out there are going to go, as soon as I show you, you're going to go, well, of course, you idiot. He is on here. But from 1992, this is a CD, though, all right, on Warner Brothers. Jim Horn's Work It Out. Jim Horn, if I remember correctly, of course, he is a session saxophonist, trumpet, that kind of thing. Okay, you know what I'm saying on this? Jim Horn, if I remember correctly, was on Solo John, Solo George, and Solo Ringo. At least one album. I know dang well. I remember this. So when I found this album and I took a look and I'm like, what the hell? So here's the thing, right? It says executive producer Jim Horn, but Jeff Lynne has got himself all over this thing. And for one of the songs, Jeff Lynne and Tom Petty are performing together on the same track and then sing backgrounds. And that's the first track, which is, of course, Work It Out. Take Away the Sadness, which is track 2. It says solo slide guitar solo, if that makes any sense. George Harrison. So George is on this thing. In case you didn't know, like I didn't know, go check it out. Like I said, Take Away the Sadness. Jim Horn, Work It Out, 1992. Okay, and Toto, 1992 lineup of Toto is on half of this album. Seriously, backing him. So really, really cool stuff. I cannot wait to listen to this too. Oh man. So I hope everybody out there is having a good Monday night anyway. I'm trying to now. I'm going to stuff my face because I'm fat and I know that this will give me temporary relief from my emotional pain. All right. Final finds from today. Could not believe that I found this after maybe 20 years. Now, there is a slight cut corner, and it's in stereo, but it's in really great shape. I didn't even pay $10 for this, and it is an original press too because I forgot the embossed cover, which is what this has got. Ladies and gentlemen, the power trio Blue Cheer with Vincebus Eruptum. I've been looking for a good copy of this for quite some time. And I mean, just Summertime Blues alone is worth the price of admission for this album, okay? And I'm not kidding here. It is, well, yeah. I can't, it's at least near minty, okay? Near minty. I could not believe that I found Blue Cheer, that first album. Now, another one that I had, going back to solo Beatles stuff, I had this back in the 80s. I bought it at a flea market that was in an abandoned department store back in Carpentersville, West Dundee, Illinois, a long time ago. Well, I finally got a copy back, and this is nice. Wonderwall music by George Harrison. That's right. I was looking for this again for quite some time. Now I know that some of the members of the Foremost, which was a big group in the UK, they back him on some of this stuff. I have yet to see the movie. I was telling Donna about this earlier today. I would love to get a hold of a copy of this. I am led to believe it was released at least once on DVD, and I would like to find this. That I'm led to believe somewhere in the middle. I've seen a still photo of this. So George is sitting cross-legged on the floor. I think it's Ravi Shankar is also cross-legged on the floor. Who goes to get cross-legged on the floor, and he's got a banjo and a nice beard. And in 1968, Peter Tork from the Monkees goes off and joins the session. None of it makes it onto here, which is sad because I think it should have. Some of it should have been at least a snippet, but it didn't. And I mean, once again, it's a Beatle meets Monkey thing. So Wonderwall music, I am so glad to have that in my collection. Let's see. I think I showed this briefly in a Doc Dacus's feed earlier today. Really nice guy, really nice channel. Everybody there was awesome. From 1971, Wings Wildlife. This is oh, by the way, though, on this, okay, it is an original custom label, okie doke. So, guess who actually co-engineers this album? Anyone? Anyone? Who in the back there said Alan Parsons? That is correct, ladies and gentlemen. Alan Parsons, who of course was an engineer for Abbey Road and Pink Floyd's Dark Side of the Moon. He co-engineers this with Tony Clark for Wildlife. I thought that was kind of interesting in itself. Beans says, hello, Beans. Beans, listen, I do not know if you sent me an email or not in regards to the thing we previously talked about. If you did, I apologize. I have yet to work on my emails. So don't think I'm ignoring you in case you did email me. Amazing Blue Cheer Fine. Listen to Out of Focus. It will blow your mind. I definitely will. The only other Blue Cheer album that I found, and right now the title escapes me. I found it for $3 in an antique mall in Cassville, Missouri, of all places. And I saw the cover, and Blue Cheer was not mentioned on the cover. It looked like a piece of artwork, like there was adults and kids on it. And I'm going, wait a damn minute. I've seen this album before. So I went to go look, and sure enough, it was a different Blue Cheer album. I grabbed that sucker for $3. I've got it somewhere in the collection, and I really enjoyed that album too. So yeah, to find this one in decent shape, I was very, very happy. The only thing that would make me minorly happier is if I can find a mono copy of that, because I think it came out in mono as well. All right, I'm a Kiss fan. Now, saying that, sorry. In my opinion, of course, once again, opinions and assholes, everyone has one. But in my opinion, Kiss's glory years, from the first album, okay, in early 74 to right around Love Gun. Yeah, and of course Alive 2. I do like Alive 2. Not so much that Rocket Ride's like the only thing I like on Alive 2 for the studio stuff. But I mean, you're talking right up to Love Gun. They were in the damn zone, in my opinion. But they were already starting to split apart, and I brought that up before. Kiss is double platinum. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Now, I think it's in my other copy, unfortunately. I think I said this earlier today, because I actually have a copy with the little award plaque. It was about big. You could write your name on it, and it looked like a gold record award. And I kind of dug it. Now, I think, in my opinion, Strutter 78 was a big misstep for this thing. And I just found out a couple days ago, I didn't know this, but studio session drummer Alan Schwartzberg, who he was on a track for The Elder, and I don't know if he was on any more Kiss related stuff, but he plays drums on Strutter 78. But, you know, for me, this was like the big shebang. And I love it that this is the original embossed, you know, with everything here. I mean, let's face it, you know, other than Strutter 78, Do You Love Me, Hard Luck Woman, Calling Dr. Love, Let Me Go Rock and Roll, Love Gun, God of Thunder, Firehouse, Hotter Than Hell, I Want You, Rock Bottom, Deuce, 100,000 Years, Detroit Rock City, She, Rock and Roll All Night, Beth, Making Love, Come On and Love Me, Cold Gin, and Black Diamond. I mean, come on. This is probably one of this caps it up real nice for that era, because of course then you get into the solo albums, Aces was the best one in my opinion. Just saying. And then Dynasty, which I'm like, oh boy. And of course, we didn't know at the time because Kiss liked to hide things and lie about things. Reminds me of other people. Anywho, so Peter only does drums and sings on Dirty Living. He's not on the rest of that damn album. It's Anton Fig, which Anton Fig is a really cool drummer. He is. He's on that, and he's on Unmasked. But of course, we didn't know that. This 12, 13-year-old kid didn't know that at the time. I still think Eric Carr was an amazing drummer. I do. I'm glad that they picked him, okay, even if he was insecure for most of his years in Kiss. So, and in The Shrink, remember I just told you about this. Love Gun. Ken Kelly did the cover for this. Yes. So hang on a second. Here comes my silly bit. I still have the original Love Gun, baby, unused. Pew, 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 pew. I'm shooting you with my, never mind. Pew, pew. Oh, wait a minute. I forgot. There's two. It's nice to find it like that. Okay, I cannot remember who it was on one of the feeds. How about this? Love's first album. God, what an album this is. Arthur Lee and Company. Ah, God, this kicked ass. I love this thing. And guess what? Oh, hang on a minute. Edward says Love Gun is a favorite. Yes, yes, yes. Hope you're doing well, Edward. Original mono. Oh, yes. And this thing is like minty, nice and minty. I paid 25 cents at a library sale for this in the 90s. I've hung on to it this long. My little black book. Anyways. Not sponsored by Waffle House. Scattered, smothered, covered. All right. I got to put a Monkees album in. You know damn well I got to put a Monkees album in. Headquarters. Oh, the Liberating album. The Liberating album. Two versions of this back cover, of course. This cover here, you'd have 3/4 of them were in beards. Everybody but Davey was in a beard over in this shot. But I got that copy around somewhere. But there's been confusion. Some say that was the original press and then it went to this press, or it was the other way around. I don't know, and I don't care. Actually, it doesn't say RE on it, so maybe it is the other way around. Needless to say, I love every damn song on this album. Just like I love every damn song on Pisces Aquarius, which is the following album. In 1967, the Monkees could do no wrong. Wish we could say that for 68 and beyond. But you know what? That's okay. They proved a very damn good point with this album. That basically, yes, okay, fine. The Wrecking Crew did most of the instrumentations on those first two albums. They were great. Wrecking Crew was damn good in their material. But these guys could prove that they could do it too, with a little help from Chip Douglas. Okay, this other one I brought up yesterday too. And I said that I need to find this in mono. I remember finding this many, many years ago and could not afford it. And then I found 3 copies of this damn album within 1 year. I bought all 3 of them, and they were $3 or less each copy. From 1967, Satanic, Majesty's Request from the Stones. Oh, yes. Now, of course, this album did not get much love when it first came out. But I'm telling you, over the last decade or so, it has definitely gotten a lot better. Now, for example, I mean, come on, 2000 man, she's a rainbow, 2000 light years from home, stuff like this. I mean, come on, this was their stab, okay, and it wasn't a bad stab at psychedelic. It really, really wasn't. Could have been a lot worse. But guess what? They tried, they failed, sort of, but in a way they didn't, did they? Then we get what? Beggar's Banquet next year in 68. And that's when your stream of really good, can't do wrong Stones comes in. Excuse me, let me get some more coffee. And right here next to me, all right. I'm a sucker for picture discs. I've been a sucker for picture discs for a very long time. When I found this, which was made in Denmark, Buddy Holly. Yes, this is an early 80s. I'll show you the other side. And I actually played this, and it wasn't that bad. Oh, it's the same. I'm sorry. It's the same on the other side. Duh. I have another Buddy Holly where it's two different ones, but I didn't even pay $10 for this. All right. Next. So this next one was one of these Origin albums that pretty much broke this guitarist into U.S. lore. Okay. Steeler. Mm-hmm. Yes, yes, yes. So, Mark Edwards on drums. He'd end up going to King Cobra. Okay. Ron Keel went to Keel, right? He had his own thing. Yngwie Malmsteen. Oh, we all know where he went. And Rick Fox kind of milled around in the LA scene. And if I remember correctly, he had some different bands and such. But hey, how about them apples? I couldn't believe I found this thing. This was at that there was a garage sale on Shrapnel, of course. Really, really good. Oh, geez, yeah, minty, nice and minty for this release too. And I like Yngwie's stuff. Okay, I don't like his attitude so much, but he's put out some decent records in the past. That's for damn sure. But to have this from '82, if I remember correctly, '83, excuse me, was really, really nice. So to go from that to this was probably my first hair metal concert. Okay. Stryper, Soldiers Under Command. Yes. I like Stryper, for God's sakes. Okay. Pun intended and unintended. This being on Enigma. Oh, okay. I do actually happen to have the white vinyl, if I remember correctly, too. I think this came out in white. But yeah, and this came out in '85. This was the tour that I saw them on. All right, so I saw Stryper. If I remember correctly, it was March of '86. It was at the Bismarck Ballroom in downtown Chicago. Now, Stryper, of course, was known for getting secular bands to open up for, well, Stryper. You know, people like Motley Crue, Hurricane, all kinds of different people. Well, this time around, it was Armored Saint. Armored Saint opened for Stryper at the Bismarck Ballroom. Armored Saint was doing their performance, and I actually thought Armored Saint was just fine. I really, really did. I actually was digging some of it until the guy, because okay, the Stryper fans were yelling, "We want Stryper, we want Stryper." They already started torturing Armored Saint 3 songs into their set. And the dude couldn't take it anymore. I think they only did about 6 songs. And John Bush, if I remember correctly, was the lead singer at that time frame. And it was him that went up to the mic and he said, hey, he goes, you know, for you guys that came here to see us, we will be at the backstage door at the side of the building. Come and see us. We'll hang with you, sign whatever you want, pics, whatever. So the rest of you guys go fuck yourself. And I'm like, whoa. I'm like, I couldn't believe he said that. So they leave earlier than they were supposed to in their opening set. Striper comes on, does their thing. Michael Sweet ought to have been a baseball pitcher. That dude was chucking little Bibles. We were front row balcony, okay, because the downstairs was all GA standing room, all right, which I don't think we could have done it at that time. It was, for some reason, it was a little hotter than normal in March in this ballroom. People were passing out. They were taking them away. And so needless to say, Sweet throws a Bible. It goes about 2 more rows past us at the balcony. I'm like, holy crap, the dude should have been a baseball pitcher. That's all I'm saying on it, too. I still like Striper. I do. I think, out of all honesty, these last few albums that they've done, I've got a couple of them. I don't have everything. It's some of the more harder material that they've done in a long time. All right. Next. One of my favorite albums, in a way. This was like a comeback album. Yes is 90125. Now, originally, okay, for the whole Yes thing, it wasn't going to be called Yes. Originally, it was called Cinema. That was the name of this band. And Cinema pretty much had Chris Squire, Alan White, and Tony Kaye. John Anderson, I don't want to say was an afterthought. He really wasn't. It's just he showed up in the middle of all of this along with Trevor Rabin, who showed up as well, who, of course, came from the South African band Rabbit. Who would have thunk that this was going to work so good for 80s Yes? Owner of a Lonely Heart? Oh, yeah. In the video, by the way, for Owner, Tony Kaye is not in it. It is, if I remember correctly, Eddie Jobson, who, of course, he was in UK. He was in Tull for a little bit. He was all over the place. And so he's just in that video, though. But Tony Kaye comes back for the tour and all this after touring with Badfinger again. And but yeah, I mean, okay, I like Owner of a Lonely Heart. I like Hold On. It Can Happen. I really like It Can Happen. Changes is good. Leave It's good. If I remember correctly, during the MTV generation, there was like several damn different versions of Leave It, which I was like, I think I saw each and every one of them. But this album here and Big Generator doesn't get as much love for some reason. But this one here was what got him back out on the charts. Although I don't know if I am in the minority on this, but I honestly thought that the 1980 album Drama was actually pretty good. It just took a bunch of years for people to appreciate it. I like to call it hard rock Yes, because that was about what you were getting. It was like, okay, fine, the Buggles are in on it. The Buggles are in on it. To go from Video Killed the Radio Star to Machine Messiah. So what? I actually thought it was pretty good in parts anyway, okay? If you go get the deluxe edition on Drama, there is bonus tracks of the 1978-79 demos for several of those songs for Drama. I'll show you this one, and then I'm going to segue to a DVD real quick, okay? Excuse me. I like Alice Cooper. I've always liked Alice Cooper since I first heard him. But, of course, Alice went through a couple different phases, didn't he? Yeah. Zipper Catches Skin, gold stamp. Yeah, from 82. So I brought this up briefly before because I showed Special Forces, but I am led to believe that Special Forces, Zipper Catches Skin, and Dada are what's called the Blackout Trilogy. Alice does not remember recording any of those albums whatsoever. So we went from Flush the Fashion to, well, yeah, Dada, which Warner Brothers let him go after that album. Dada, and let's see, so Dada and the first two albums, I'm still looking, original press. I can probably get a hold of a copy of, what is it, Rhino's version. One of the places around me has it on sale, but I don't know. I don't want to pull the trigger yet on that. I'd rather find an original. Dada is such a strange album from beginning to end. But so to go from, like I said, this is 82 Alice to I watched a turd of a movie last night, music related, and I know you're sitting there going, oh God, what's he going to show? Roadie from 1980. Has any of you people seen this movie? Have you seen this movie? Yes, MGM put it out at the time. Meatloaf is your main actor. Art Carney is your secondary actor. I'll tell you, the acting in this thing is for shit, but I liked the music performances, and you get a bunch of them in this thing, and in a couple different genres too. You got Hank Williams Jr., you got Hank Williams Jr. with Roy Orbison, you've got Blondie. Okay, this was all filmed in early 80, if I remember correctly, late 79, early 80. So yeah, so Blondie, and you had Asleep at the Wheel, which is one of those bands that has the most lineup changes, over 100, I'm told. I think it's got to be a toss up between Asleep at the Wheel and Black Oak, Arkansas, who had the most lineup changes since their inception. Let's see who else comes in. Oh yeah, so then after the Sleep at the Wheel, there's a subplot here where the girl that Meatloaf is interested in, she wants to go see Alice Cooper. So they go to New York City because that's where Alice is going to perform. Now, Alice, like I said, it's supposed to be an idea for Flush the Fashion. So this is shortly before Flush the Fashion comes out for an album and tour. So he's already getting away from the mascara and doing the ponytail thing, and he doesn't really look really good, to tell you the honest truth. You can already tell he's getting worn out on something. But one of the interesting things that I thought in regards to the Alice Cooper portion of the movie is that he ends up doing two songs in this movie, along with a small snippet of Only Women Bleed. Now, in the movie portions that Alice Cooper does, you happen to have two members of Elton John's band, okay, formerly of Davy Johnstone, and I want to say oh God, what's his name? Not Neil. D. Murray. D. Murray. Let's see here. Thomas, Asleep at the Wheel. I was big into them. And hi, Paul. Hello, Thomas. How are you? I'm not gonna lie. I like the song in the movie. I thought it was really good. So I may have to look into them. I know they've put out many, many albums. So for part of the movie, Alice is dressed up with the mascara because that's what the lady wants. And then after that, he gets into the ponytail bit and sings the two songs. And the two songs, like I said, were only had originally put out on that Roadie soundtrack album. Okay, so you've got two members of Elton John's band. You have two members of Utopia. Okay, Kasim's is it Kasim Sultan and shit, I don't remember right now. I'm sorry. So you got two members of Elton John's band, two members of Utopia, okay, behind him in the movie, but I am also led to believe they're on the record. And uncredited for both tracks is Todd Rundgren. Todd Rundgren pretty much produced both of those tracks. One of the two tracks ends up on the Alice Cooper box set that he puts out in the early 2000s. The other one has yet to be released, and so you'd need the Roadie album to hear it. Tom says, is this the soundtrack that has the Roy Orbison, Emmylou Harris duet, That Loving You, Feeling You? You are correct. That is towards the back end of the film, if I remember, if not even in the credits. It is, that is exactly, that's right. Thank you, Poptopia, aka some Sultan. I'm, long day, guys. So, Rhodey, shitty acting, great music performances. Go look on YouTube. Go look on YouTube. I can't complain. I only paid $1 or $2 for this thing on DVD. Okay. It made $4 million in the box office. Not necessarily saying that that means it's any better. I'm just saying that at least it wasn't a total turd. I can't. I'm tired of that. I know. Covered my bad hair. Here's one I couldn't believe. Same dollar sale that I picked up that Steeler album. I think I brought this up in a stream. I can't remember if it was Vinyl Archivist or it was Rage or somebody. Gold stamp promo, Black Sabbath's Eternal Idol. That's right. The last album on Warner, by the way, they would get let go. And yep. I like some of the stuff off of here. The Shining comes to mind. I remember that. But yeah, I mean, I thought it was a really good album, okay? For what it was. Nice and minty. He took good care of his albums, this guy did. But this one doesn't get much love. I want to say this one got the deluxe treatment too. And if I remember correctly, Ray Gillen was on the demos. But boy, I'm telling you, I can't see really well today. Yeah, Tony Martin sings on this one, which they are doing a box set on the Black Sabbath's Tony Martin years, I am led to believe. That's what Tony said. It might take a little while. I liked, like I said, parts of this album. I think Ray did okay on some of the demoed stuff that, you know, his versions, I think were pretty competent too. I remember really liking Headless Cross. I remember they didn't play shit off of this on MTV at all. But when they did Headless Cross for IRS Records, I remember them playing Headless Cross on Headbangers Ball. Remember Headbangers Ball? Yes. Oh, I used to watch that religiously all those years. And then, so I remember that came out on vinyl, but TYR, I don't know if that ever came out on vinyl in the States. I know it came out on vinyl in Europe, but the one video I remember from that was Feels Good to Me. That was the one that they were playing on Headbangers, and I like that one too. So Sabbath, you know, even though, yes, it's always going to be, you know, you have your Ozzy Sabbath lovers, which of course I love Ozzy Sabbath, okay? I like Dio Sabbath too. All right, it's just different. Some people bitch about they shouldn't have called it Black Sabbath anymore because Dio got in it. Well, what are you gonna do? And then, you know, then you got your strange stuff. You got Born Again with Ian Gillan, excuse me. I like that damn album. I just wish it would. I know it's 80s muddy mix. Just lighten it up a little. That's all I'm saying. Not too much, but it needs a little bit of a cleanup at least for Born Again. And then you've got Seven Star, which that shouldn't have been a Sabbath album. That should have just been a solo album. But that was Warner Brothers pressuring Tony. He's like, we're not selling it if it's a Tony album. We'll sell it if it's Sabbath. So. And there's some really good cuts on that Seven Star. My favorite is probably Angry Heart. That's what I like. Angry Heart off of Seven Star. And, of course, Eric Singer's in that one, too. Merrick, hello there. Merrick, I hope you are doing well, sir. Next. I talked about Kansas before. in the last stream because I showed Monolith. But then we go into Final Confessions. 1982 Kansas. Nothing wrong with it. I like the John Elefante years. Of course, Steve Walsh will always be my favorite singer of Kansas. Donna says, I'm going to crash. Talk to you tomorrow. Love you. Every little thing is going to be all right. Nice nod to Bob. Nice nod to Bob. Still final nail in the coffin, though, Donna. I'm done. So, of course, this is on Kirshner. This will be the last Kansas album on Kirshner. Custom label on this. I still like Play the Game Tonight is always going to be my favorite off of this. The video is just so weird. The video is so weird. But I really liked John F. Elefante's time in Kansas. And this, of course, will be the last album with Robbie Steinhardt. He would leave after this. If I remember correctly, it was after the tour they did for this. And then you get to this one, which will be the last one for 3 years. Drastic Measures, ladies and gentlemen. The big single off of this, Fight Fire with Fire. Yeah. It's a different album. Uh-oh. What? You locked yourself out of your car? Oi! Oh, Merrick. I'm sorry, Merrick. I've had that shit happen. I hope you can jimmy the lock or quickly call somebody with a spare key or something. I hope so. Next. Now remember, I just pulled piles, so I don't know what's coming up. Remember I talked about those solo albums? Gene Simmons, 1978. Oh, yes. Doesn't he look like the demon? It's just too bad the album isn't as good as it could be. Oh, boy. With this here, okay, let me throw out here your musicians. All right, there are different people all over the place on this. Of course, remember Alan Schwartzberg I told you about? He's on this playing drums. You got Sean Delaney, who was one of the main people that helped to start Kiss. He's on here too on percussion. You've got boy, oh boy, I'm telling you, I can barely see shit today. I'm sorry. Katie Segal does background vocals because Katie Segal was in a band called A Band With No Name. They were on Casablanca. Katie Segal, of course, ends up being what? Peg Bundy on Married with Children, and of course on Sons of Anarchy. Go figure. She was a singer for quite some time. Okay, special guests. Here we go. Bob Seger, of course, is on here. Joe Perry. Yeah, Joe Perry. This was just about, I think, before he left Aerosmith. Helen Reddy. Jeff Skunk Baxter, of course, from the Doobies and Steely Dan. Donna Summer. Janice Ian. Rick Nielsen from Cheap Trick. Cher. No surprise there. Mitch Weissman. He'd end up writing some songs with Kiss in the 80s, but he also was, if I remember correctly, an original member of Beatlemania. Yes. So here's the fun part. Oh, Michael DeBar. Okay, he was in Silverhead and Detective, if you remember that 70s band at the time. Richie Rano from Stars. He was on here, and that's pretty much it. So there's a little story. If you haven't heard this one before, great. If not, just I don't know, amuse me. Yay! That's okay. You know, not everybody's got to be a Kansas fan, and I'm glad you got it fixed. Good job, Merrick. Good job. Seriously. So Gene Simmons thought he was going to be real funny in 1978. He had a song called Mr. Make Believe, which is on this album. He was going to contact every member of the Beatles separately. Every member of the Beatles separately. And he called them. He did. He called every one of them. Yeah. His thing was he was going to try to convince all of them to come and sing a background vocal separately, not telling the other three. And then when he'd get done having all four, and he said he wasn't going to put it out on the record that way at all. It was going to be his personal joke that he had the Beatles singing background on Mr. Make Believe. The only Beatle that bit was Ringo. Ringo was the closest to saying, I'll do it, but he didn't end up doing it. And John was waffling. Tim Allen, too many streams tonight, Paul. You know, I'm not going to lie. I tried to check before I came on here, but I did not see anybody else's at the time. I know Rach finished her stream quite some time before I came on, about less than an hour ago. So nice to see you here too, Tim. So Tom says, I hope this don't sound snarky, but I never got the appeal of Kiss. Can you shed some light on this? I'm not trying to be, of course I know you're not trying to be trollish. Thomas, don't worry about it. The fact of the matter is this, okay? And Tom, he says, hi, Tim, to you, sir. So, okay. Look, I think this, all right, so this is my guess. It was because they wanted to be mysterious. They wanted the makeup. They wanted the explosions. You were going to get because Gene and somebody else was a big fan of kabuki, okay, which is Japanese theater with the white face and stuff. And I think they wanted to take that, kick it up a bunch of notches. They looked at New York Dolls, because they went to a couple New York Dolls and a couple Alice Cooper shows, and they were like, we want to take slight elements of this, kick it up a notch. They just wanted to be unbelievable. Bigger, larger than life, as the one song said from their catalog. Hi, Tim. Hello, Thomas. And we say we got that. Never been a huge Kiss fan, but that's a funny story. Never heard that before. Well, like I said, it's yeah, that story didn't come out until a couple years back. Got a notice from Oddbox Topper. He has a new post. We'll check him out later. Oh, good. I think I remember seeing that just as I was getting ready for the stream here. Just so their first album looked, yeah, no kidding. It kind of looked generic, didn't it? And the thing is that that was not the first album that I bought from Kiss. I want to say, truthfully, it was either Dress to Kill or Rock and Roll Over. No, it was Dress to Kill or Destroyer was the first Kiss album I bought originally, and then I went backwards and got all the other stuff. So they just wanted to be larger than life, I think, Thomas, and they just wanted to just blow it out of the water, and they wanted to do things their way. It would be their way or the highway, okay? And there was a lot of behind the scenes stuff. I mean, Kiss should not have worked in the 70s. But it was the point of you had the Kiss Army before the Kiss Army was really made. There was a lot of fans just looking for something different. And to me, yes, it was the next step in theatrical rock. Okay. Now, I'm not saying, because I'll be stretching this, okay? Was it the next step in the bridge between Alice Cooper and King Diamond, per se, or Motley Crue? because Motley Crue tried to cop Kiss's look. I'm trying to remember who came on first, King Diamond or Motley Crue. I know that's two different genres per se of music, but Kiss Alive. Okay, yeah. See, I want to say, I think it was, I don't remember why I didn't get Kiss Alive originally. I think for me, it was because it was just a little bit too much money at the time for me for 1975. I'm going to say that as the excuse. I think that's why I went with one of the older titles. It looked cheap and strange. I was into progressive rock anyway. ELP, yes. Well, I love all that stuff. ELP was a little late to the game on. Yes, I already kind of knew about. I mean, if anything, I knew about Lucky Man from ELP, which I've always liked that. There's some other song I remember too. Since I happen to have it, I don't know why, but oh, look, I guess I get a small pile of Kiss anyway. I didn't know this. So, hot, hot, hotter than hell. Yes, hotter than hell. Oh, boy. Hotter than hell. Course on here, gotta choose. Parasite, Going Blind. Let Me Go, Rock and Roll. All the Way, Watching You, Mainline, Strange Ways. Another excellent album, but could have had a little better production. That's all I'm saying on this. Tim says, Kiss for me started out as a glam band, as did AC/DC. AC/DC, I didn't know about AC/DC until, jeez. Got Blood If You Want It. The album before Highway to Hell. That was the first time I remember seeing an AC/DC cover. And then, of course, I saw Power Age, and then finally, Dirty Deeds came out in '81, if I remember correctly, which was kind of late to the game. I don't understand why the U.S. did that, other than maybe, okay, Bond was dead already. Let's milk this a little. So much depends on your age. I think I was a year or two old when Kiss came out, but I appreciate. Well, yeah. See, okay, I think you're right too. I think it does have to do with where exactly you were born in when you maybe first saw them exposed. That didn't sound right. But for me, like I said, I remember it was either the Mike Douglas show appearance, and I think that was late 74, early 75, or it was the Paul Lynde Halloween special. You want to, let me see if I can do my bad Paul Lynde for tonight. Next up is Kiss. There. That's all you're getting. And of course, we brought up Kiss Alive. Yes, yes, yes. Such an album. It is a damn good live album. Let's face it. It is. And yeah, sure, they did some tweaking on it. I said tweak. And but this was the game changer. This is what saved Casablanca's ass. After putting out that Johnny Carson Best of 2 LP, yep, original Blue Label, ladies and gentlemen. And the cover is worse for wear, but my records, sure, they got a little bit of feather scratches, but not too bad. Not too bad at all. At least I think so. Yeah. Oh, let's see. Merrick says, ELP live album was great. I have all their vinyl. I think was looking for the show, Lights, Explosion, etc. In my opinion, yes. Hello, my friends, to the show that never ends. I really wish I could have seen ELP live. I think that would have really blown my mind. I know when they reunited and did, what was it, Hot on the Rails or Hot Off the Rails and Black Moon. I dug some of that stuff, but I still didn't go to the tours. I don't know why I didn't. I finally got to see Carl Palmer's ELP Experience, which I know is not the same thing. Okay, Arthur Brown guested. I had the pleasure of meeting Mr. Palmer in between Asia and Yes's sets. So I got some of my ELP stuff signed. I got some of my Asia stuff signed. The Remix Double Platinum was the first Kiss album that I ever owned. Yeah, that's a good one to start off with if you're going to get into it. I mean, Kiss was looking for the show. Yeah, you're right. You're telling me. You know what? I would have rather have seen an animated movie of that. That was Hanna-Barbera's first attempt at live action movie. I think it would have been better as a cartoon. They shouldn't have done it. They just shouldn't have damn done it. That and the solo albums, those two were the original Kiss's nails in the coffin. Seriously. Kiss meets Phantom, solo albums. What, 78 was a fucked up year. Merrick, you're right. Love Beach sucks from ELP. What was I Love to Turn You On? Oh, I remember they played that on the radio. Here's a 12-inch. I said 12-inch. 12-inch of I Was Made for Loving You, Baby, along with Charisma. Charisma was a hit in Mexico. Go figure. And of course, I Was Made for Loving You was a big hit here. Should Kiss have gone disco? No. So, since these are off of Dynasty, what is my favorite song off of Dynasty? Sure know something, sure know something. Yes, sure know something. I'd rather hear that any day than any. Yeah, let's see. I agree, Phantom. Yikes. Oi! You're. Ugh. But if you've got Kissology Volume 1, if I remember correctly, yeah, you get a cleaned up DVD print of Phantom. Yeah, who gives a shit? Right, okay. Elliot says, I never cared for Kiss. Knew people that were very overbearing in their dedication. The whole costume. I never did the costume makeup shit. I maybe wanted to do it one Halloween just to do it. But I'm like, too much fucking work. I'm lazy. But it did seem so gimmicky. I was born in 58. So yeah, that's right. You would have been 16 when that album first came out. So the first time I saw Kiss live, 1990. I think I brought this up before, but just bear with me a second, please. So, Greatest Show on Earth, they called it. It was Kiss, Winger, Slaughter, Faster Pussycat, and oh God, I think there was another band for the life of me, or they added another band. All of that was damn good. That was like my last cool multi-show since the 88 Monsters of Rock. And it was at the same venue, Alpine Valley, Wisconsin. Hot Mache tour. They had these Sphinx with the laser eyes. And I'm like, oh, shit, that's the only time I got to see the Eric Carr lineup of Kiss. 98 would be the next time I'd see them. Psycho Circus tour. That was good. They put on a good show that time. 2000, the final tour. Yeah, right. That one was even good too. I have a bootleg. I know somebody that taped like all that concert or most of that, and I might be the only one that's got that on CD. It was burned off of the tapes that he taped, and he lost the tapes. So I have the CD of that show from Rockford Metro Center, and then 2017 for here in Northwest Arkansas. Money Talks, you're right, Merrick, but that's an AC/DC song. See what I did there? Money Talks! LOL. Hi, Elliot. I was born in 60 in high school. We thought that Kiss was for the middle schoolers. Yeah, okay. I get that bit with the lunch boxes and the Kiss dolls and anything else that they could put their damn name on. Exactly, Thomas. I went to a lot of concerts. Oh, okay, Thomas. Were you born in or were you raised in southern Wisconsin, or were you like northern Illinois like I was, Thomas? You don't have to get too far into the question due to being personal, but I'm just curious. I did not go to a lot of concerts at Alpine. I really wish I did. My first Alpine concert, let me think about this a minute. 88 was really busy for me. Like I said, other than Monsters of Rock in 88, Def Leppard Europe, and then in the same week, Great White and Whitesnake. Oh man, the Great Whitesnake was the better show. Europe, in my opinion, sucked ass, and Def Leppard kicked ass. They were really really good. I know there's a Kiss Psycho Circus video game, never played. Haven't heard. You know what? You're right. I heard about that as well. I think the correct outfit for a rock band is, well, Levi's in a t-shirt. You know. Oh, okay. So you're from Madison. I used to have one of my lady friends lived in Madison, not too far away from Dane County Coliseum. Yeah, I think a short drive away from there. So I knew her for a while. Who sponsors the Kiss tours these days? Geritol? If they could get away with it and Gene would want it, of course they would get sponsored by Geritol. And Depends and and Viagra. Every band has a final tour, and the real final tour. And honestly, this is the real final tour. What, like Cher? Oh God. Do you believe it? No, I don't believe you, Cher. You lying whore. Anyway, oi. See, I added words to yourself, Eric. Cher. Cher. I don't know how many of you people are Cher fans out there. There's very few songs I've ever liked from her. I'll date myself. I think there was a Kiss Pong. You are correct, Elliot. There was a Kiss Pong pinball machine because I played it back in the late 70s. I think it was like 77, 78 it came out. See, I'm enjoying this with you guys. I feel a lot better. I do. If you didn't see the first 5-6 minutes, when this is done, go watch. You'll see why. Here's one that I was really surprised to find. It was around here, actually, and yeah, it's a cutout. If I ever get to meet him, I'm hoping to get this signed. I came this close to meeting him a few years ago in Eureka Springs, Arkansas. Randall Chowning Band. Now, I know you're probably going, who the hell is Randall Chowning? Randall Chowning was an original founding member of the Ozark Mountain Daredevils. Yeah, he's on Ooh, 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 Jacket Blue. And if you want to get to heaven, you got to raise a little hell. Yeah, and then he leaves about 76, 77, and he does a solo bit, and he comes back, forth. It's actually, I've heard a couple cuts off of this. It's actually pretty good. Go check that out on YouTube. Gypsies, tramps, and thieves. Yeah, maybe once in a while. One that doesn't get played that much, and I don't know why I like it. Somehow, the 45 of Train of Thought ended up in my house. Could have been me, could have been my mother. I'm not sure who. Along with Half-Breed. Yeah, Half-Breed. The last song that I actually half liked from Cher, go figure. It was on the Heart of Stone album, which, if I remember right, was 1989. And it was called Just Like Jesse James. Now, in the past, I have said, in my opinion, and once again I state, just like opinions and assholes, everyone's got one, John Bon Jovi's a no-talent hack. Just him. I like Richie Sambora. So before you guys jump on me, I like Richie Sambora. I just don't like John. But he wrote just like Jesse James for Cher. And I actually like the way she had that. Hang on one second. Please don't leave. Please don't leave me. But Cher, I didn't like the song Believe. I think it just started getting really, really ridiculous. Oh, by the way, the shirt I'm wearing today, Robert Johnson. Yes. I wish I had some of those 78s. I have the volume 2 Robert Johnson album off of Columbia. I was the very first album. Oh, holy dough, Boz. I would have loved to see. And Southside Johnny was the opening. And he told all the, oh, now see, I bet, but that's fucking awesome. Daddy's like, come on up. That only ever happened to me once when a band said that. And it was the original, the classic lineup of Quiet Riot. In 2003, they were in a outdoor strip mall parking lot. I know, in Rockford, Illinois. I know this sounds really, really weird. And the weather was really kind of shitty. You know, I don't know why they kept putting concerts in late September in this place. Okay. But that weekend was something else. They had Head East and 38 Special opened on the Friday night. So I got to see that. And the weather held up for that. That was too awesome. But I started feeling ill in the middle of 38, and I ended up leaving like about 5 or 6 songs in just to get home. And it wasn't like I went drinking or anything. I just wasn't feeling good. I get like that sometimes. So Head East and 38 Special were the first night, and then Quiet Riot was the second night. Now, the tickets, the station was like 98.3. So the tickets were $9.83 for general admission. Not too shabby for 2003, do you think? So Quiet Riot, we were like, you know, internet was only a little bit more than it was when it first started out. And I knew, I'm like, okay, well, I said I knew that Kevin DuBrow and Frankie Bonelli obviously were going to be there. I'm like, okay, so you got half of the classic lineup, okay? And then, and notice I didn't say original. I'm just saying classic. Mental Health lineup, okay? And then I heard maybe about a week or two before, Carlos Cavazo was going to be there too. So I'm sitting and I'm like, okay, well, you got 3/4 of the original lineup. But I turned to my buddy Jason, who went with me, and I said, I bet you Rudy Sarzo ain't going to show up. He already did. He did the White Snake. He did all kinds of other bands, Blue Oyster Cult, you know, stuff like that. He was like the basement of For Hire. He's with the Guess Who. He's been with the Guess Who for the last couple of years now, and he was on the last album. So we were like, I don't think Rudy's going to show up. Well, would you damn believe Rudy showed up too? All 4 of the classic Mental Health lineup showed up. And if I knew damn well Sarzo was going to be there, I would have brought my White Snake album. And then if I remember correctly, he was on Ozzy's, he was on an Ozzy album, damn it. It was Speak of the Devil, if I remember correctly. I would have brought that shit to get signed, but I didn't know. So that was so because of the weather being screwy, but there wasn't a lot of people. They had it seated for about 500 people, and I'm not kidding you. There were 50, I'm telling you, for Quiet Riot. And the band, like, okay, so the snow fence, the security pulls it back. And they're telling us in the GA, which the GA is about 50 to 60 feet from the stage. And they're like, and I go, what's the deal? And they go, band wants you up front. Said this to my dozen people that were around me. But he said really quickly, he goes, but not the first 2 rows. He goes, those are paid for. So anything from the 3rd row on, you can sit. And everybody goes, boom. And so that's what we got. 3rd row, center. Was I there the whole? No, I was at the lip of the stage the whole damn time. And then afterwards, I got my, I don't know why I did not have Mental Health in my collection at the time. I have a complete band signed Condition Critical, which was the second album. So that was my rush to the stage moment. Let's catch this up here. Has anyone ever actually listened to the Sharon? No. I'm not gonna lie. I haven't heard it. I know what you're talking about. I haven't heard it. And I like the Allman Brothers, but I never heard that one. Yes, I kind of figured that. I knew what you're. I would love to see Boz Scaggs. No Elliott, but for 25 years, it was in every. Yes, it was in every used record rack. Kielbasa, Happy Dingus Day. Am I saying that right? Dingus. I'm going to say Dingus. I don't know what that is. I'm sorry. You got me on that. Okay, so. Oh boy. Well, Happy Dingus Day to you too. Peter Chris. Oh, poor Peter and his solo album. I said poor Peter. Anyways, look, $5.99. They couldn't even sell that. They couldn't even do that. He just wanted to make a completely different album, and boy, did he succeed. He succeeded in doing that. But his was the least selling of the four. I love Peter Criss as a drummer. I do, okay? He was one of the last disciples of Gene Krupa. Gene Krupa taught him. Seriously, Gene Krupa, the jazz drummer, taught Peter Criss. He gave him drum lessons. That's why he's got that jazz swing. Who else has got that jazz swinging away? Bunny Carlos. That's why they're two of my favorite damn drummers in the land. Eric Carr was kick-ass. He was in the heavy school, though. Go listen to Creatures of the Night, and you'll know what I'm talking about. And some of The Elder, believe it or not. Yes, I do like The Elder. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. Oh. Tim, I'm jealous. I'm jealous of this story. I saw a Warren Zevon show once with less than 50 people in attendance. Warren and I were best buddies by the end of the show. But did you share lawyers, guns, and money? That's what I'd like to know. Or Thompson the Headless Gun? Never mind. Never mind. Sorry, I'm just being an excitable boy. See what I did there? No. Dingus Day is big in Western New York. I will look it up. I will look. I'm gonna. These lists get very strange. You should see they get almost cryptic after a while. Dingus Day, Western New York. I will look it up after I'm done here. I'm probably going to be on for about 30 minutes or less. Okay, guys. I know it's a Monday, and I know some people probably have to go to work and all. So I will try to cut this short by 11:30, but I'm not going to hold promise. That's a good question, Merrick. What was the first album I ever bought? Well, my little piddly memory, my pea-brain memory of about being 6 or 7 years old was when I bought. Now, I'm talking about first store album, okay? Because there's a side story, so bear with me. I talk like this. You know that, guys. You've seen these. The first one that I remember buying with my own money, and it was on sale. It was a cutout. The 2 LP Dick Clark 20 Years Rock and Roll, 1953 to 73. I bought it at my Woolworths. How about that for a name that I miss? We had a Woolworths in downtown Crystal Lake, Illinois, at least till about 1975, 76. I missed it. I'll tell you, they had some good stuff, and they had the lunch counter. They still had the damn lunch counter. I remember it. My grandma and I would go, and I'd have something small to eat from time to time, and got to look through. I was a weirdo. I looked through all the cutout stuff. Maybe because I knew I was being budget conscious already at age 6, because I'm a tightwad bastard. I really, really am. But then, like by the time I was 15, 16 years old, there was a box in the attic that I found, and there was a bunch of records in it, bunch of albums and 45s. And in a side one, I also had Matchbox cars, original 60s ones, okay? All bought at garage sales. And I took a look at the albums. I had More of the Monkees. I had Dave Clark Five's Glad All Over. I had Paul Revere and the Raiders' Midnight Ride. I did. And I'm going, what is this? You bought these, Paul, at garage sales. You'd buy them with like your little money. Don't you remember? No. I had good taste back at age 6 and 7. The first 45s I remember, though, I bought, Seriously American, everybody, it was a toss-up. It was between John Lennon's Mind Games. I remember buying that brand new. I think with the picture sleeve, too, for that matter. I remember that. It was either that or Bob Dylan's Knocking on Heaven's Door. I somehow that appears to be my memory. You didn't sidetrack me. It's okay. I like it when people ask me questions. We had Woolworths and Kresge's. Okay, now Kresge, if I remember correctly, is really what Kmart was, right? I miss Woolworths. Okay, so when I was a kid in Chicagoland, like I said, we had the Woolworths down the street. We had a mall that opened up St. Patrick's Day 1976. I remember this because my mom and I went. And they built it. Robert Hall Village was the anchor store at the time, okay? Robert Hall Village would end up being dead by a few months after that mall opened because Kmart opened up. And that's how I got to see and meet Tammy Wynette, was for the Kmart opening. Yeah, this little 9-year-old little son of a bitch met Tammy Wynette. She called me cutie. Yes. Wonder how many people she called cutie. Never mind. George Jones would have been pissed. Hey, quit talking to that 9-year-old son of a bitch. So let's see. Zayres. We had Zayres. I liked Zayres. Zayres didn't close down until the late 80s over in my neck of the woods. By the time I got out of high school, Venture opened up, I think. That kind of stuff. I remember Goldblatt's and Weebolt's, they shut down by like the early 80s. They were big department stores. Of course, we had a Montgomery Ward's full store. I remember all that stuff. So I would always peruse their record departments too. I had lots of fun back in those days. And as far as for record store, other than Skip that I talked about, we had a Flip Side, and we had something called Oranges, which was a knockoff of Peaches. I saw Cheap Trick open for Queen at the oh man. Oh God, I would have that double Bill Thomas. Oh my God. I would have loved to have seen that. Crowd did not know what to make of him. You know what? Maybe back then I wouldn't have either, because that was before Budokan, I think. Or just about after they got done recording it, but it wasn't released. We had a Woolworth in downtown Buffalo. I remember the dollar. Oh God, dollar grab. Was that dollar grab bag records, or hey, it's a grab bag full of stuff for $1? You don't know what you're gonna get, but it's gonna cost you $1 in tax to get it. 10-cent cutout single section. Shit, I would have been all over that, Tim. I would have been like, hell yeah. I would have been there torturing him at least once a week. Yeah. It's the same people. Robert Hall Shoes. It was the Robert Hall Shoes and Clothing. And then they decided they wanted to get into the department store businesses. And then what happened was, and I remember this was like the first memory major-wise for a little kid. I remember when Robert Hall Village closed down, when they did the closeouts, and First, it was 10 to 30% off, and then there was barely anything left. There was barely anything left. And I'm not kidding you, that was in early 76. I want to say by late summer, maybe by Labor Day. I'm not kidding. Kmart was already in. It's because they didn't have to work on it too much. I think they even kept the damn fixtures. I'm not sure about that. But yeah, Robert Hall Village, they were fun. I mean, okay, so the things I would buy with my kid money. Now, I know that this is going to sound a little ridiculous, but bear with me. It was a combination of things. Sometimes I'd get to take money from the penny jar. That's what we call it. My grandma had a penny jar, but I always would tell her I don't think I stole from the penny jar. I hope not. Or if I don't know, we're just going to say I'm not sure. I hope I didn't. But I usually told grandma, I'm like, hey, I'm going to take some money from the penny jar. And she was good with that. Okay. So I had that mixed with, I actually would earn my money because remember glass soda pop bottles? And remember when you take the 8 packs? Well, I know it's going to sound ridiculous. I had a big red wagon and I would go up and down my street. That was the catch. I could not leave Williams Street. That's the street I grew up on. So I would go up and down in the mid 70s and go, hi, do you happen to have any glass bottles pop bottles that you don't want anymore? And people would give them to me. They just would give them to me on a good day. And I should say that my grocery store was half a block from where I lived. Now, that part I had to go with my mother and my grandmother because I couldn't go across the street because it was busy. So I would take my little red wagon, and they were used to me taking my little red wagon into the customer service and take the bottles. And on good days, I'd make $5. Now I know some of you people are going to go $5, but $5 back in the mid 1970s is what about probably $20 is now. So I was able to get a bunch of stuff, and I saved and saved and saved. Boy, I'm really behind in my comments. Woolworths, Arlen's, and Cars. You got me on the Arlen's and Cars. I've never heard of those. Lots of 8 tracks at a store called IDS. You know, that's really funny. My grandma bought 8 tracks, okay? And my first car, which was a 1970 Buick LeSabre. What a tragic end that thing had. It was my only car with an 8-track player. After that, it was the standard push button turn radio of the 70s cars, or by the time the 80s cars came, the cassette decks. So I had those. We had Nichols, Barker's, Hills, and Kmart. Now, I actually have heard of Hills. I don't know why. Maybe because I tripped on some old videos for Hills. I've seen some weird stuff. I'll go down rabbit holes that are really crazy, like Hills, Ames, Grants, bunch of different stuff. It could be anything for $1, not a record. Oh, okay. Oh, look. Macamania says, I'm live. LOL. Well, then if you're live, maybe I will pop by and guest for a brief amount of time when I get out of here in about 10 minutes or so. Let's see. Anybody remembers a store that sold Levi's called the County Seat? Yep. Yeah, I do, Thomas. In fact, if I remember correctly, so when that mall got built in Crystal Point Mall in 1976 in Crystal Lake, Illinois, we had a County Seat in there, if I remember right. But I will also tell you something that will amuse you that is musically related to you guys out there. We did have a record store, and it was called Sound City. That was the name of the record store. So that was pre Full Circle Records and Skip, in downtown Crystal Lake. So Sound City, they sold albums and cassettes and 8 tracks. I remember that. I think they even had some like reel to reels in the corner too. Go figure. But behind these locked cases, they had these glass sculptures. Now I'm a kid looking at this, and there's no one else in the, my mom and my grandma, maybe now my dad, You know, my dad, Jerry, who married my mom, you know, comes into the picture. So they're not in this store with me. It's just me because they figure it's a record store. Well, how the hell was I supposed to know that the glass sculptures were bongs? I'm a 9-year-old kid, 1976, 77. I don't know what the hell a bong looks like, but they're behind these locked, you know, you'd slide slide the glass window and lock it. I mean, some of them are beautiful looking bongs. And pipes and stuff, okay? But you know, so that was my first interaction with a record store. Pennies were big bucks in those years. Yeah. I remember penny candy barely. Barker's had 10 cents. Oh, no, see, no shit. 10 singles in a bag for $1. Most of them were on Apple. God, I would have been all over that. Oh, that's funny. See penny candy at the mom and pop stores. Not only did the one place that it was Rexall drug. We actually had a Rexall down the street from where I lived. We had Rexall, and Walgreens was within the same block, but Walgreens moved into that mall I just told you about. And Rexall would have penny candy sometimes. And then I remember that the Tootsie Roll Pops were like either 3 or 5 cents a piece. Okay. And I don't know about some of you people out there, but Rexall was there at least until the 90s. I remember that because I would go in there from time to time. But they still held true. They were like, if you had a Tootsie Roll Pop and you, but you had to be right there to do it. Okay. You opened up the wrapper, and if you had, and you know where I'm going on this, the Indian shooting at the star with his bow, if you had one of those on the wrappers, you would get a free one right there like that. You just gave him the wrapper. That was a very weird thing. I remember Arlen's, forgot all about them. You see, got me on that. I don't know what Arlen's is. My first car, I installed a Ranger 8-track player with an adjustment to get rid of the crosstalk between tracks. That's very nice. I remember my grandmother's 8-track. She'd be playing, okay, so don't laugh too much. She'd be playing Jackie Gleason or Victory at Sea. She had a bunch of those. You know what I'm talking about, some of you old schoolers. And it would get into this very big crescendo shit, and the next thing you hear would be click, click. It'd go, and then click, click, and then go back into the track. In the 70s, it was still easier to be naive about things like bongs compared to, yeah, no kid. I was a very naive boy. See, yeah, we had a Rexall. You know, I miss that shit. I really, really do. Yeah, I'll say this until I die, I guess. The 70s, even though I had a shitty time in school, okay, I really did. I liked all the time I spent outside of school. Okay. I loved going, I had my own money sometimes. I'd go into the stores. Sure, I'd save some of it for a rainy day. I didn't spend my money all the time, but I'd be like, okay, you know, I mean, I know that my years weren't like, okay, I didn't grow up in an abusive household. Okay. So I didn't have that to worry about. All I had to worry about was I was an only child until 1983. So, I mean, I just had to deal with schoolwork, okay, and helping around the house. That was it. That was my only damn worries. Unfortunately, I really didn't have any friends to play with. I know that sounds really sad, but it just was the truth, you know. And that's how it was until 8th grade for me. Yeah, Jackie Gleason got a few of those. How sweet it is. Yeah, I know. Okay, here's my shitty Jackie Gleason. You want to hear my shitty Jackie Gleason? There's 2 of them. Norton is the other one. So he's talking to Alice. I know that you know that I know that you know that I know that you know that I know that I'm right, Alice. Now remember, Norton, it says to address the ball. Hello, ball. Sack. Phase drugs. You got me on that. You got me on that. Oh, yeah. Let me bring this. Lots of places too, but records back then. Yeah, like I said, Woolworths. I had Ben Franklin. You guys remember Ben Franklin's? Oh man, that was another fun little store. Now it wasn't in Crystal Lake; it was in the next town called Cary, Illinois. Okay, going in towards Chicago, and Cary had a very nice big size Ben Franklin with a lunch counter. Oh, the 70s were the days with still lunch counters. They had damn good lunches too over Ben Franklin. And I'm not kidding you. My grandmother and I, most of the time it was my grandmother and I for Ben Franklin. But I mean, we get a small lunch. Usually for me, it was like a grilled cheese or like maybe a burger or something. Okay, and we'd sit there and eat. Or if Grandma got done, she'd be like, "Stay right here. I'm gonna go look at." She was a crafty person. Okay, so she'd be looking at the crafts and then. My first album I bought with my own bread was All Summer Long by the Good Album. A lot of Beatles after that. To the moon, Alice, to the moon. I love that show, but I can't watch them anymore. And the reason why I say that is because I watched them all for years and years. You get burned out. And I tried. I don't know if you remember, for a little while, the Honeymooners were on MTV, MeTV. Okay, Sunday nights, if I remember correctly, uh, in the 9 hour for Central Standard. I tried to watch one, I couldn't do it. I'm like, it to me now, looking at it as an adult, it's a little more depressing. It's a little more depressing of a show. Yes, I understand it kind of is supposed to be like that intentionally, but as a kid, you're looking at it differently. Do you understand what I'm saying? I hope so. My first concert, Thomas says, was Santana when I was 13. Oh boy, I remember an unusual smoky smell and thinking, that's got to be marijuana. um, Santana at 13. Damn, that's cool. Um, I like the late 60s, early 70s Santana. When he started going, I don't. I'm not knocking the religion, okay? Whatever that was that he was following, um, Welcome and those kind of albums, on the road to devotion. I hope I'm getting this right, okay? I just couldn't get into that. And in fact, so the next time I heard Santana was MTV played the Z-Bop album, which I'm like, hold on, nothing's the same. And I'm like, oh, wait a minute. Now we're getting back into something. Or I'm winning. I'm winning. Yeah, I love that stuff. I'm like, boom, now you got my interest again. Just like in the late 60s, early 70s with Black Magic Woman and all that other stuff. Those first three Santana albums were great. Those lunch counters were great. In the 70s, they were already old school at that point. You're right. You are right. But like I said, they were great. And like I said, my were shut down by 1976. The Ben Franklin, I think, might have lasted in Cary till about 1980, 81, and then they shut down too. Of course, what replaced that was the Kmart cafes. The Kmart's actually had really good grinder sandwiches and ices. Oh my God. Oh, they were good. Alice, you're the greatest. Oh no. Oh no, no, no. I cannot do the Hucklebuck. We are not gonna go there. I had an album at one point. I can't remember who the hell it was, and it was Do the Hucklebuck. I found that thing. I'm like, what the hell? Hello, Bull. Art Carney was great as the second banana. That whole foursome was great. The Santana concert was a bit too wild for me at 13. An eye opener, though. Oh, okay. So you know what? How about okay. Here's a little concert memory, but it doesn't have to do with me. I was there, but it has to do with my daughter. Now, so let me think about this. This would have been about 2002, 2003, maybe. So my daughter was 10. We're going to say she was 10 for the sake of the story, okay? So every Memorial Day in Rockford, Illinois, they would have on the water, well, on the waterfront was the festival, but they would have the free Memorial Day concert. And it was free for like many, many years. And then after that, they started charging people. But there was three bands, Header, which was a local band from Rockford, Illinois area, Beloit, Wisconsin, somewhere around there, okay? Familiar 48, which they had one album out on Universal. And then the headliner for the day was Days of the New, okay? And I like the old Days of the New, and I like Tantric too, but by this time, Days of the New was only the singer. He already replaced, I didn't know that at the time, but he replaced everybody else in the band. So Familiar 48 came on first for some reason. Then it was Header. And during Header, my daughter, now she wanted to be up front. And I said, okay, look, we are going to sit right here under this tree, which was about a good 20, 25 feet away from her. We will not leave this tree. If there is a problem, and I will be looking all the time at you, but if there is a problem, you get to this tree or I will go to you. It's going to be one or the other. So everything was fine. She was there for the first two bands, but then around Days of the New, it started getting more crowded. So I said, come on here by the tree. I said, because it's getting to be too much. So she goes off and says to me, Dad, she goes, during Header, something weird happened. And I said, well, what? Thinking, something bad happened to her. She goes, no, the lady next to me, she lifted up her shirt for some reason and showed things she shouldn't have showed. And I said, sorry you got to see that. And that's rock and roll. I said, but you're not going to damn do that when you get to be a. Thankfully enough, she never did. There. That was my story on that. Just like the unusual smell when I saw Hendrix. Hey, what's that smell? Far out, man. In the word, let me see if I can do this. In the words of that American poet, Leonard Skinner, ooh, that smell. Can't you smell that smell? My wife worked at the Kmart. See, I'm telling you, sandwiches were damn good back in the 70s and early 80s. I used to work for a guy who actually saw Hendrix open for the Monkees when he was about 10. All he remembers was loud. Yes, that's really funny. I have read similar stories about the loud part. A string of polo ponies. Polo ponies. I don't know where you're going on this. Hendrix loud indeed. He did the whole act, played the guitar behind his head, picked notes with his teeth. Soft parade opened for him. January 68, Buffalo, New York. I am jealous at all you people that got to see Hendrix. I never got to be experienced, but Merrick has. See what I did there? I turned that a little bit. Oh man, you know what? I'm going to wrap this up in a minute or two here. I'm gonna go check and see honestly if Macamania is doing his live stream, and I may make a brief appearance over there. I know it's 11:33 here at my time. You know what? I want to thank everybody, okay, that has come on here tonight. I needed you guys, and I love you guys. You guys are like I said this before, we're all knights of the round turntable because we're all damn unstable. And these last few days have not been good for me. And you guys have been there in spirit and right here. And I thank you so much. I love you guys more than you know. Cheap Trick played on the waterfront, and they were asked not to come back. They drew to. Hey, wait. Hey, hold on a second, Poptopia. Before I leave here, real quick, were you there? Oh God, 2003, 2004, because Cheap Trick were there both years. The one year it was the family, all the family bands. So you were talking about Harmony Riley, Robin Sanders' kid was in a band, and then Cheap Trick was the headliner. And then the next year, Cheap Trick, um, no, wait a minute. No, it had, okay, Alice Cooper for the Dirty Diamonds tour. He was there with Trick. I was there for both of those waterfronts. The family Cheap Trick show, I was in general admission, closest to the snow fence. The Alice Cooper Cheap Trick show, I was fourth row center. I was there. I took a bunch of shots, some pictures of that, and got to see some boobies too. All had to do with a Y95 t-shirt. Hey, you know what, Thomas? Thank you for popping by. Merrick, thank you so much. Slider, thank you. Thank you. Tim, you have a great night too. But like I said, I thank all of you guys. You guys make the show. I just happen to be here. That's all there is to it. And I try to share my memories. And I know sometimes I repeat stories and don't my memory is good, but sometimes not so good as to when I tell the stories. You see what I'm saying? But all right. I love you guys. You guys have a great going to be Tuesday morning here. Thank God I don't have to go back to work till Wednesday. Okay. So yeah, I wasn't at the 99 one. That was the silver concert, if I remember correctly. I wanted to go to that show so damn bad. And I didn't even live in the Rockford area by then, but I heard about that concert. And I got to see, I think or was it the album? I got to hear some of it, and I know, what was it? Wasn't Slash and Billy Corgan there that night? I could have sworn that's what I thought I heard. They showed up and appeared, and I thought that was kind of cool. I'll have to tell you guys the next time I have a Billy Corgan story for locally here in this town, actually. He showed up in an antique mall. We'll save that for the next time, okay? So until, like I said, next time, we are the Knights of the Round Turntable. We all are damn unstable. Take care. God bless. Rock on. And have a kick-ass week. Why? Because you all damn deserve it. Not sponsored by Waffle House.